morning. Day 31. You can see I need shade. Luckily today is where I go and take a few days of rest. Got about maybe 12 miles before I get into Hiker Town, which is right on the edge of the big desert section. My body is beat. I swapped my shoes out at mile 464. They're usually about 500 miles before you're going to get out a pair of shoes. You're either going to swap them out here or Candy Meadows at 700. So I chose to swap them out. However, the blisters on my heels, they're back. And they're no fun. On top of that, a few days ago, before I got my new tent stakes, because I lost my other ones, I left them in the camp weeks ago. They were so good too. I had to buy these cheap plastic ones from Big Five. And 4 nights ago, I was getting up early in the morning to do my thing, and bang, kicked my toes right on the tent stake and ripped open a lot of flesh and blood and other gory bits. So not only is my knee hurting, my feet are hurting too. So these few days of rest will do me a world of good. I can put up with the feet, but the knee, we'll get this going down. It'll be fine. It will be fine. This is a beautiful section. There was so much burned out area yesterday. It was really kind of sad. You know, California, it's pretty much anywhere in the world, really. Fires happen. It's a natural part of the cycle. But sometimes they just get so out of control that it takes out more than it's supposed to, I guess. Anyhow, I didn't see the rogue bear that was giving the people's food at mile 484 and thereabouts, which is good. He's a young male juvenile, still trying to figure himself out, I guess. But I didn't see him. Everything else is good. I'm happy. I love the trail. It's pretty beautiful. I just would like a new knee. That would be fantastic. Anyhow, hope you guys are all well. Chat with you later.
So by now you'd figure out that there's only one way, and that's up. So after leaving Tehachapi, it was 2 really big climbs in a very, very hot and dry environment. Interesting, but the Native American people there called the Kwaisul. The name Tehachapi means hard climb, and it all makes sense. And this is also where we begin to enter into the Sierras finally. Still have a long way to go before we get to alpine territory, but at least it's in the range now.
Good morning. Here we are in the bizarre little town of Hiker Town. And I'm going to turn this camera around, and you can see all the little buildings, people, this little outpost, little cabins here in the desert.
Morning, everyone. It's day 32. I'm back on the trail finally after 3 good days of rest, a lot of ice, all that good stuff. I'm here walking through some of my favorite trees on the planet, the Joshua tree, or as I like to call them, the Dr. Seuss trees. This was always a highlight when we're headed up to Mammoth. When you hit the high desert, these Joshua trees pop up. Pretty unique to this area. Nothing quite like it. Anyways, hope you guys are all well. We'll keep everyone posted as we move along. Take care. Good morning, Groovers. 6 a.m. Beautiful morning. It's gonna be warm today, but then it's gonna get cold tomorrow. But as you can see right there, I slept very near these wind farms. And oddly, I slept really good because it sounds like the ocean. And this is the closest I've heard to the sound of the ocean since I left. And I can tell you I'm missing it, something fierce. Anyhow, I think it's day 32 or 33. I don't know, it's all a blur. But it's a beautiful day and we're off and running.
Moving north, the mountains started becoming much steeper, and once again the trails were crossing over spines where you could see on both sides and have a good look around and feel the strength of the wind and watch these windmills just move. I had one nice little encounter with a rattlesnake that decided that didn't want a part of me, and I didn't really want much of a part of it, so it went on its way pretty quickly. One of the great things I really enjoyed on the trail was just being alone, listening to the sound of the birds. Like, because you're not talking to anyone and you're walking fairly quietly, you're able to sneak up on nature in some way and just be able to interact with it. Today I knocked down another milestone, which was the 600-mile mark. Getting closer. Most of the day was spent in really hot and exposed areas, but toward the end of the day I ended up camping at a place called Landers Meadows, which had a beautiful spring, nice woods, beautiful campground, really nice water. I knew that was all going to change the next day because it was going to be one of the most exposed sections on the whole of the PCT, and it was going to be hot. Hello everyone. It's day 34. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon. Thankfully the weather's cooled just a little bit, a couple degrees. It's still smoking hot. As you can see all around me, there's not a whole lot. This is another 15-mile water carry, which in a couple more days will be a thing of the past. And it'll come none too soon, I can tell you. Anyhow, hope you guys are all doing well. That's it. Bye. Got to Bird Spring Pass late in the afternoon, early evening, and the wind had really kicked in. It was ramping to about 40-50 knots. And even though I was behind a rock, I did not get much sleep that night. I'm lucky there was a nice fully stocked water cache to drink up and then get ready for another big day the following day. Good morning, everyone. This is day 35.
last day of the desert section where, well, there's actually 2 more days, but this is the last day where there's very limited water. Just done a climb from 5,500 to 7,000 feet. Took about 2 hours. Got the blood pumping. Got an early start. It's windy, it's cool, so that's gonna help this 22-mile stretch without water. It was a beautiful climb, and it certainly is gorgeous being back in the top of the mountains again with more trees and a bit of cover. Anyways, hope you guys are all well. Tracy and the girls are having a good time, getting massages, pedicures, eating, drinking, having the time of their life. Anyways, chat soon.
After initial big climb, the rest of the day was spent pretty much in up on top of a mountain ridge. Few dips, few drops, but nothing really significant. While having mostly flat terrain, I was able to really put some miles in, and getting to Walker Pass was ended up being a lot easier than I thought. It was also nice seeing my very first green Mojave snake.
Hello, little one. Going about your way. You got a few years on you. I believe you were a green Mojave. Be well. Morning. It's day 36. Now into Walker Pass. Kind of, not quite the start of the Sierras, but sort of. Most people went into town, into Ridgecrest yesterday to get more food and have a rest, but I loaded up with food at Tehachapi so I can just keep pushing on to get to Kennedy, and then I'll have a good rest. But as you can see, scenery is pretty spectacular. See the trail. There's one guy up ahead. He's the only person I've seen all day. I saw him this morning. I'm about to catch him soon. Other than that, I don't know who's around. The crew that I was kind of walking with the last few days, they're all in town. So hopefully I'll catch them at Kennedy. Nice group of people. Anyways, hope you guys are all doing well, and we are just still marching on.
As I moved further up into the mountains and getting closer to the actual real Sierras, the scenery would start to change once again. On the eastern side, it was still dry and barren, but I was getting over these crests and looking over to the west side of the mountains where there was more forested areas, more water, and just more to see.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. Me, I'm doing good, except I got no sleep last night. My air mattress sprung a leak a few days ago and it's getting worse, so not terribly comfortable. But what's worse is I didn't hang my food last night, and I should have. I got some kind of little creature chewed his way into my tent and started trying to go through my rubbish bag. They've got all my Ziploc bags have holes in them. It's just, wear and tear. But this little guy, took me a while to catch him. Had to put on the red light on my head torch, and it kind of stunned him a bit. He's a sweet little thing. I felt sorry for him. But in the end, I caught him and threw him out, and that was the end of that. But there was a lot of noise, a lot of animals around. I don't know what was out there, but some of them sounded as loud as human footprints. Maybe it's a Yeti. Anyhow, just come over another pass. As you can see, off into the desert. Over here into the Sierras.
be climbing. Next climb will be at about 8,000 feet. I just did about 1.5 now, but I'm going to go down again. Anyhow, chat soon. One more day and I'll be in Kennedy Meadows.
The prints around my tent were bear paws. At this stage, the landscape is really starting to change, and I'm starting to feel more and more like I'm getting into the Sierras, and kind of like an old friend, you know, you haven't seen in a while and you're finally getting to see again. At Chimney Creek, I was just going to stop and get some water, but there was a trail angel there about a quarter mile off the trail, so I decided to head there, and to my surprise, there was a few people that I had met previously who were already there, and drinking and eating, and our host was a really kind man who made us hot dogs and had fruit and chips and drinks and beer, and thank God for these trail angels. They really are amazing human beings.
Good morning. It's day 37 and it's cold. Just dropped from 8,000 feet. As you can see, it's a beautiful landscape. Looks a bit barren at the top of this mountain here, but it's actually quite nice. Ice in the tent again last night. Still haven't managed to fix my mattress. So it's been a bit of a bumpy ride last couple nights. But today we hit 700 and into Kennedy Meadows. This is the last day of the desert section, which is the hardest section on the whole PCT. So in the next few days when I get back on trail, we're going to see a lot different scenery. We'll be getting into the high alpine. And hopefully we'll be able to stay warm because it is cold. Anyhow, hope you guys are all well. Bye.
And just before arriving at Kennedy Meadows, which is at mile 702, I hit the 700-mile mark, which that officially ends the desert section, and I'm quite relieved and happy that I made it this far.